back to Beanie's Hobbies, and in this video we are going to be taking a look at the Creality CR3040 Pro, which is this monster right here. Now this printer is absolutely huge and weighs around 60 kilos, so yeah, it is a big heavy beast. I went all out on this thing. The price of this thing is sort of eye-watering, and in all fairness, I love it, don't get me wrong, but it's not really worth the money. It's just so huge, and like the build plate isn't actually any bigger than, you know, a CR10 for example. I mean, it's 300 by 400, so you haven't really got any benefits from owning this to what you would having, you know, you could probably buy 4 CR10s for the price of this thing. But hey ho, I've got it now, and I've been doing some printing with it, and in all fairness, the prints have been coming out exceptionally well. There is a slight little bug with this printer, so if you guys are thinking about getting one, the first thing you will need to do is to update your firmware, because there is a slight bug in the original firmware that comes with the machine, in that it will not save when you go to run your bed level. It won't save it, so when you then come to do your next print, it's miles out. So you do need to go and download and install the new firmware, which is on Creality's website. So yeah, do that first, and then it's been fine ever since. So, usual Beanie's Hobby style, we will take a look at the prints, and then we will take a look at the printer, and we'll just waffle on for a bit, and that'll be the end of this video. So bear with me guys, because I want to do a long shot to start off with, so you can actually see how huge this thing is. Absolutely massive. I'll give you some measurements shortly, but first things first, let's get in a little bit closer and take a look at these prints. Okay, so obviously we have got a door that will open. So these first few prints were actually on the SD card that came with the printer. Now what amuses me is that Creality supply you with this massive machine, and then they give you these tiny little prints. I mean, you know, they could actually supply you something on the card that actually, you know, utilises how much build space you got, but oh no, you know, they give you this. And obviously now this is a Benchy. Trying to get a new camera as well guys, so trying to get a bit better for you. But as you can see here, to start off with, this thing did not come out perfect. We've had several issues. Let me see here from the print, we did have some issues to start off with. Now I am not actually going to blame the printer for this. I am going to put this down to this janky ass filament, which is absolutely atrocious. This filament is terrible. This filament is Overture, and it is rock PLA, and it is absolutely pants. So wouldn't bother wasting your time with this filament guys, because it is absolutely atrocious. But I mean, you see the part cooling is actually working quite well on these overhangs. You know, everything came out. It came out quite well, I say, apart from actually on the hull of the ship. So that was the first print. Second up, yet again we had a rabbit, and this too suffered from some issues. Please guys, don't comment on my nails. Yes, I know my skin's bad. Working man's hands, you know, working man's hands. But yeah, this was a little rabbit, and as you can see, you know, we haven't got the best quality in the world, but it's okay. Up next, this was also on the card that came with the printer. We had a vase. This didn't come out too bad. There are the odd few bits that you can't really see. There we go. I don't know if you're about to see it, like there. You can see that you have a piece missing. But it is quite an acceptable print. is kind of cool and quite funky. So then obviously I went ahead and then I sliced my own files. Now the next lot of filament you're going to see, Technology Outlet were kind enough to send me some more of their filament to test out. So first things first, we printed this quite large batwing out of their Candy Apple PLA, and it is very shiny, and it actually came out incredibly well. Now I did actually go around before I'd done the next lot of prints, and I did grease up all the bars, all guide rails, guide rods inside the machine to make sure everything was running smoothly. But this is quite a large print, quite a funky looking print, and it did come out exceptionally well. I am loving Technology Outlet's own brand. This is their own brand PLA. It's very, very good quality PLA. So yeah, well worth a look, guys. Go give Technology Outlet a look. I'll leave a link down in the description below. So that was the batwing. Up next, now this filament is so cool. Now with this extra light that I've got on my camera, you can see it is very glittery, very shiny, like specks of purple and green and silver inside the filament. So obviously we printed a vase. Vase was obviously printed in vase mode, and it came out absolutely flawlessly. This filament is actually so cool, guys. It's so pretty. I say that came out absolutely perfect. And lastly, it's going to be some camera wobble. I can't even get this thing in the shot, it's so big. Lastly, we printed this rather large rocket. Yet again, this was in the same filament that the vase was done in, and you can see actually quite a large rocket. Obviously wasn't printed in all in one go, guys, because you know it is very, very big, but the print quality on this thing is absolutely fantastic. Did have a little tiny bit of stringing, nothing major, just need to tweak a few of the retraction settings, and that's about it. Had no over extrusion, no under extrusion, nothing at all whatsoever. It came out absolutely flawlessly. Also printed this with no supports either. I'm just loving this filament. It's absolutely amazing. In all fairness, the lighting in here isn't doing it justice. I mean, it just looks purple on the camera, but I can assure you it's got greens and silvers and purple in it. Let me just flick off my top light. And that has made absolutely no difference. Let me flick that back on. You can sort of see, you can see around this area here, you can see the sort of change in colour. Really cool filament, guys. So let's say they're the prints. They came out exceptionally well. I'm very picky when it comes to my prints, as you all well know over here on Beanie's Hobbies. Now getting to the actual printer itself, let me clear some of this stuff out of the way. Now ideally I want to take you guys off the tripod, but then everybody's going to moan at me that it's shaking, but I don't know how I'm going to actually be able to show you this printer in its entirety, because it's absolutely massive. So starting around here, might as well start around here somewhere on this right hand side. As you can see, we have a door. Now obviously inside the door, I'm going to have to take you off this tripod, guys. There we go, off the tripod. Right, so inside this door we have, obviously this is the reader filament housed inside the door, which then goes up into filament detector, up into the extruder, which is obviously full metal extruder, and then obviously inside the printer You see the filament then comes in straight down into this hot end. Now obviously this is a Core XY setup. It is very difficult to show you inside there, guys. BL Touch does come pre-installed on this machine. Also we do have glass bed. Yes, I've got the bed upside down. I much prefer just printing on the smooth glass side rather than that textured side, because just recently, I don't know if Creality have changed something, but I've had problems with getting things to actually stick to the coating on their bed, so I just flip it over and things just stick perfectly. Occasionally I might use a bit of 3D lac if I'm doing something quite large, but most of the time I'll just print straight on the glass and have no issues at all. You see we've got twin lead screws either side. Now this actually also has HEPA filtration. You can see at the back here there's one big extractor and there's another extractor as well. Now when they're running full chat they are quite loud, so you wouldn't want this thing in your bedroom, that's for sure. It is quite loud. Now obviously it's quite hard to show you on the top of the machine because obviously I've got this sitting on my workbench and I ain't moving it by myself because it is so heavy. But I mean up the top here, as you can see, I can't open it all the way up because I've got a shelf in the way, but we do have the lid. So obviously if this thing was on the floor you could easily access the top of your printer, but luckily so far I haven't needed to. It's also on wheels. This printer really is geared to sit up on your floor, so it's on 4 wheels so you can roll them around. Also the wheels can be locked and unlocked so it doesn't move. Now also around here on this right hand side we do have USB and where your SD card goes. Believe it or not, my camera is zoomed out as far as it'll go and I still can't get it in the shot. Now on the right hand side we have the power, so we'll just flick it on. Basically usual style of Creality touchscreen, exactly the same as that you would find on most of our touchscreen printers. Let me just turn the light off so we can actually see. So we obviously have the settings with your leveling, loading and unloading the filament, moving everything, just like say the bog standard settings. Then obviously in control we can preheat the hot end automatically, manually. Also we can then go in device, you can turn your air purification on and off. And also we do have inside LED lights as well, so which is a nice little touch. Now like I say, auto bed leveling. Since I've done the update I've had no problems with it. I mean I had so many problems with this printer before I'd done the update with it not keeping the level at all whatsoever. It would drive me insane because I would literally finish a print, go to start the next print and the whole thing would just be out of level again. But ever since, like I say, doing the update, that problem has now gone away. Now as for size of this thing, like I mentioned, the weight wise we're looking at 59 kilos. This thing is exceptionally heavy. When it was delivered it took two delivery drivers plus myself to carry it up the drive. It is ridiculous. And then it took a couple of us to obviously power lift it from the floor to the workbench. So what I'm going to do now is put you guys back on the tripod, we'll get the measure out and we'll have a measure of this thing. But just for reference, obviously sitting next door to it is a CR10V3. So for size reference you can see this thing is absolutely massive. Completely made out of sheet metal, the whole thing is metal and it is just insane. So I'm going to put you back on the tripod and we'll get the tape measure out. Okay, tape measure in hand. So height wise, also from the floor to the top, we're looking at roughly 88 centimetres. Width wise, we're in the region of 59 centimetres. Depth, we are looking at roughly 50 centimetres, including the handle that sticks out. So by no means is this a small printer in any way, shape or form. Now, as I mentioned before about doing the update on this machine, there's two forms of update. Obviously we need to update the main board, and then we also have to update the screen. Now, to update the screen in this machine is no easy feat. What you would have to do is, you may notice at the top, on this top corner here, you've got 2 screws, and the same on the other side. Take these 4 screws out. That'll then drop the panel down inside, so you can actually get to the back of the screen. Just put your micro SD card in there and update the screen. It's not an easy job. I mean, for people that have this printer on the floor where it's designed to actually be, you'd be laughing, but because mine's sitting up in the air and I couldn't get the top undone because there's a shelf in the way, it was an absolute nightmare. So like I say, I grabbed this printer from Technology Outlet. I did reach out to these guys and see if they would do me a little bit of a deal. They did, which was absolutely amazing of them, and I couldn't thank them enough, because the retail price of this thing, guys, is absolutely, it's just eye-watering. I mean, I can understand why it's so expensive, because of how much work has gone into making it, the fact that it's completely metal. But I would not say rush out and buy one of these, because there's absolutely no reason, when you can buy 3, 4 CR10 V3s the exact same price. Like I did say, build size, we got 300 by 300 by 400, so we've got quite a lot of height in the build area, but you know, the rest of it is exactly the same as a CR10. It's not a printer I'd massively recommend to say, yeah, you must buy. Be very good for printing with sort of ABS or any of those filaments that require a lot more heat, because this is actually one of those true fully enclosed 3D printers. Creality claim to make several enclosed 3D printers, but they're not, because they're all got the tops missing, where this one is actually all fully enclosed. So yes, you would have actually no issues at all printing with those filaments that require a lot more heat. So that is a plus point for it. But other than that, it's kind of a bit of a glorified, overpriced box. But it is what it is. I love it. It's not going anywhere. It will stay here now on the side, because it's too heavy to move, and B, you'd never sell it because I couldn't post it. Somebody would really have to want these and come and pick it up for me if they, you know, if they want to get one. But I love it, so it's not going anywhere. But anyway, I want to say a big thank you to Technology Outlet for making this printer appear here wonderfully, and thank you for them supplying me with some more of that filament. But seriously, guys, give Technology Outlet a look for anything really, printers, parts, accessories, and their range of filament is absolutely amazing. I can't rate it high enough. It's so cool. Anyway, guys, I'm not going to waffle on any longer about this thing. It is an absolute monster. It's very, very expensive, and it doesn't really do any more than what a printer would do for a quarter of the price. We have got some more printer reviews coming up, so stay tuned. I am currently, I'll give you a little sneak peek. I am currently having a play around with this Kaiwu 3D Typhoon. Now, it's okay, it needs some work. I have been fettling around with it. Some of the prints I've been getting from it are absolutely atrocious. I have stripped the whole hot end out and made a few little tweaks. It's now printing a little bit better, just a few things in the slicing program, but blah blah blah. That's going to be a different story. Beanie's Hobbies is also going to be doing a top 5, top 6 upgrades you should be doing to your Ender 3, so stay tuned for that. So yeah, guys, that is about it for now for me for waffling on. If you found this of any use at all whatsoever, leave me a like. If you want to subscribe. Want to leave some comments down below, preferably not about my fingernails, please. That'd be most appreciated. Anyway, that's it for me for now. I'm off, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Cheerio!